All right, first thing we're gonna do before we set the Retract cord kit is we're gonna kind of, I had you kind of loosely leave this into the track now. So just wanna kind of show you how to position. When you're doing the positioning, the tower is gonna be in a fixed position, and then the distance from the seat, you're gonna adjust the seat, not the tower. So just a good rule of thumb to know the distance is just go ahead and turn this all the way. So you see I've got kind of a little tight here, plenty this way. So that's why I had you kind of leave it a little soft there. Just go ahead and move this back a little bit. Now we've got good rotation without it pulling it nice and tight. So at this point, probably go ahead and tighten these down. A little bit tighter at this time. Okay, now we got that. I'm going to walk you through the Retract cord setup. So earlier I had you go ahead and leave all the cords that were tied to your rear transom clamp kind of loose at this point. Move that pedal out of the way. So when you uncoil it, you've got a loose end with no knot on or anything like that. That's going to be your cord that runs the length on the inside of the boat. And you will have a carabiner not attached to anything. This is going to be the carabiner that hooks to the top of your prop shaft here, and that's what's actually going to pull and retract it up and down. So once you get that hooked on there, first thing I like to do to test it out before I get all set up is just make sure it's working properly. So you can go ahead and just give it a pull. If you get a slight pull, it should slightly disengage the lock. When you pull it more, it should pull it all the way up without any effort or much trouble at all, and then it should just go ahead and free fall back on its own. Once you test that a couple times, you'll find it really good. I think we're okay to go ahead and install all the hardware for it. So in that kit, you also have this Retract cord kit. So it's going to come with all the necessary hardware to install the guidelines and the lock and the pulley. So we've got everything individually bagged with its own hardware. I've already pre-installed it on the boat, but I'll just go ahead and walk you through basically how I set it up. It doesn't have to be exactly where I put it, but these are basically line guides. So, if it's a little bit different the way I have it set up, no big problem at all. So first thing is there's already a pre-installed pad eye that's going to be on your factory boat. So that's going to be the first one we'll go through. So we can go ahead and just go through this first one. And then your hardware pack, you're going to have 3 more of those pad eyes to install, where you please. I just kind of picked some okay locations for me, just for a quick reference. I guess I'll take a tape to it. So from the back of the track, the first one's about 16, second one's about 26, and the third one's right around 40. So just a quick reference if anybody was curious actually where I had it. So with a screwdriver or a drill, just go ahead and mount those 3 pad eyes, and we'll just go ahead and keep following through on those pad eyes. And then when you get through that third pad eye, it's where we're going to change it up a little bit. So we'll go ahead and pull the slack there. So you can see we've got the pulley and we also have a lock. So this basically will be able to lock out your prop shaft if you lift it up, or if you're in shallow water, or if you want to disengage the lock, if you're going down the river and you fear that you may hit something and you want it to pop back up. So what I did, you don't have to do this, like I say, you don't have to do this exactly again, but once I figured out where my front tower was, I just went ahead and butted up pulley. It comes with the supplied hardware. You've got a stainless steel and a black screw. The stainless steel will go through the actual pulley wheel. It's just a little bit longer to get through. And I do this because it reminds me where to put the drivetrain every time. So once you position this kind of butted up against here, you'll know basically right where you had it last time. You don't have to worry about trying to set it up. So kind of the rule of thumb is you want the pulley below the actual lockets here. So as you can see, I kind of put that kind of almost centered on the sidewall here, maybe a little bit lower, and then I just mounted the locking cleat just above there. So we can go ahead and loop it up through from the bottom up. And then you should have more than enough extra rope. So you can see here, you can go ahead and give it a test again. You can see nice and easy to pull it up and down. You can also make sure the lock is working, so now it's going to be in the lock position if you want to keep it up coming into shore. And then also another thing you can do is if you just give it a slight tug to where that lock disengages, lock it there. That way this thing will be free swinging, so if you're in shallows or anywhere where you may hit something, that'll be free swinging up there. So at this point, we'll go ahead, next video will be how to, where to position your seat, and that will also correspond to how long length this rope you want for your retract cord.